Good morning, everyone. As chairman of the commission, I would like to welcome you all today to the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission virtual town hall meeting at 10:03 a.m. This Zoom webinar is live streamed on YouTube on the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission YouTube channel. For anyone in the public watching who would prefer to watch via a different platform than they are currently using, please visit our social media at Redistricting MI. Our live stream today includes closed captioning. Closed captioning, ASL interpretation, as well as Spanish, Arabic, and Bengali translation services will be provided for effective participation in today's meeting. Email us at redistricting@michigan.gov for additional viewing options or details on accessing language translation services for this meeting. People with disabilities needing other specific accommodations should also contact redistricting@michigan.gov. This meeting is being recorded and will be made available on our website, www.michigan.gov/MICRC for viewing at a later date. This meeting is also being transcribed, and those closed caption transcripts will be made available and posted on the michigan.gov/MICRC website, along with written public comment submissions. There's also a public comment portal that may be accessed by visiting the website, once again, michigan.gov/MICRC. Members of the media who may have questions before, during, or after the meeting should direct those questions to Edward Woods III, Executive Director of the Commission at woodse3@michigan.gov. For the purpose of this morning's town hall meeting, I'll turn it over to Executive Director Woods.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling energetic, enthusiastic about the opportunity to participate in democracy, Just want you to be aware that this is an opportunity for you, specifically for you, to get the questions that you need answered and understanding the 12 maps being considered by the commission. Once again, this is an opportunity for you to get your any questions that you have addressed with regards to the 12 maps being considered by the commission. Many of you know that next week we do have a public hearing where we want to hear from Metro Detroiters which map best represents them. You can identify which map that is, or if you want to make some tweaks, you can bring that to the commission next week. But this is an opportunity today to learn more about the maps so that you can make an informed decision. I want to remind you that you have 90 seconds to address the commission with regards to the maps. We're here, we created this opportunity so that we could hear from you as well as others. So if there's family, friends, other people in your neighborhood, co-workers, please invite them to join us and participate in this virtual town hall so that they too can get the answers to their questions. Once again, this is to ensure through this educational process that everyone that would like to take advantage of the opportunity can understand each and every one of these maps, get their questions answered so that the commission can make an informed decision by the deadline. Once again, we want to thank you for coming. We want to thank you for your participation in democracy. And once again, want to reiterate that we welcome your comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. We'll now move on to the overview of the draft proposed maps. The commission has forwarded 12 maps for public consideration. These include 6 collaborative maps and 6 maps submitted by individual commissioners. The 6 collaborative maps are dubbed with bird names. We have cardinal, crane, dove, finch, heron, and starling. And the individual maps come to us from submissions from Commissioners Juanita Curry, Brittany Kellum, Rhonda Lang, Cynthia Orton, Rebecca Zatella, and Aaron Wagner. We have requests from commissioners to present these maps at different times to accommodate schedules. Is there anyone who would like to go first? Commissioner Zatello.
Yeah, I can go first, and I'd actually like to start with Commissioner Lang's map.
Sure. We have Mr. Morgan with us from EDS today. Welcome, Mr. Morgan. If we can pull up Commissioner Lang's individual map.
Okay. Sorry, just taking a moment here.
That's okay.
Okay, this is Commissioner Lang's map. It's 400 on the portal. And I have the map set up here.
Okay, thank you. So I am sort of repeating from Commissioner Lang's presentation that she did twice during the last hearing. So this map includes the 4 VRA districts, which are 1, 3, 6, and 7. That was based on the analysis of our council as to how many VRA districts there are in this map. She stated that she did not use any other maps as a resource other than the Linden. This is entirely her own work and creation. It satisfies the partisan fairness analysis features. It's basically similar to all the other maps we have. They're all kind of in the same range. She did make a slight change to one from a prior version to make District 1 VRA compliant. She added Melvindale to District 2. She said that she kept District 9 the same. That's up in the kind of north suburbs, Oakland, Macomb area. There we go. So she kept District 9 the same as the original Linden. District 7, she changed to incorporate the Jewish community of interest and to make a VRA performing district. Livonia has been made whole in District 13. And she did say that this started from the framework of a collaborative map, like indicated she used the Linden and some of the early drawings that we had done together with this round of drawing. She used roads as guidelines and used neighborhoods as guidelines in terms of where she was drawing those district boundaries. She said that there are 3 Detroit primary districts. She's got very little overlap into neighboring communities outside of Detroit. And her District 3 keeps Highland Park and Banglatown together. And then she said it was drawn blind to race, politics. No one submitted maps to her that she has copied or derived from. So there can be no conflicts with anyone who is running for office, either as a current candidate or as an incumbent. And I think that's pretty much it for Rhonda's map. If you want to pull up the partisan fairness, I think it would be helpful to look at that.
Okay. Okay, so the top line numbers, the lopsided margins is 5.0 for Republican, 3.3 on the mean median difference for Republican, 1.9 on the efficiency gap for Republican, and on the seats vote ratio, it's 21 to 17 in favor of Democrats, 2.4 proportional bias towards the Democrats.
All right, thank you. Unless there's any questions, I think we can move on to my individual map.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Zutella, this is your map. It's 404 on the portal.
Okay, for this map, I tried to use Commissioner Curry's Detroit-centric districts 1, 3, and 8 as the base. I did make some adjustments to those districts based upon communities of interest. This map does have 4 VRA compliant districts according to our council, Mr. Braden. So that would be 1, 3, 8, and 7. 7 combines Pontiac and Southfield together, and that is a configuration that we had in the original Linden, and we've received public comments asking that Pontiac Southfield district be kept intact for the most part, and so that is what I tried to do here. It has equal population. In terms of the communities of interest that I tried to focus on, is this really was a community of interest focused map. So in District 1, we have that Latinx community of interest that had been identified that includes Lincoln Park, Ecorse, River Rouge, and portions of Detroit. That is comment number C2453 on our portal. In terms of District 3, I tried to keep together that Bengali community of interest as much as possible. That was comments number C6211, P1206, and P4107. So I tried to maintain that community. We also have Ferndale in with Detroit. That was very intentional, and you'll see that in a number of our maps to combine Ferndale with Palmer Park area in Detroit. That is designed to preserve a LGBTQ community of interest that we had received and honored in the Linden map. That comment number was F3493. So that is why that portion of District 3 goes into north of 8 Mile. District 1 includes the whole Dexter Linwood neighborhood. We were asked not to split that. District 8 includes Rosedale Park, Minnick Park, Grandmont together. That was comment number W9474. We were asked to keep those together and not split that community along Southfield. District 3 also includes Morningside, East English Village, Cornerstone, together in a single district. That was a comment that we had received repeatedly, which was C826. Those individual neighborhoods wanted to be put together in a district, and they are together in District 3. Harper Woods is put with Grosse Pointe. We had received a lot of comments about that in earlier mapping. And so that District 12 is kept largely the same, and that preserves that community of interest, which is W9906. Lastly, if we go over to District 7, if you notice, that takes part of Oak Park and pulls it into that district. That is designed to preserve that Orthodox Jewish community of interest across Oak Park and a little bit of Southfield. That was comment number C1803. So I was trying to keep that community together as well. And then if we go down to District 2, we have the MENA, so Middle Eastern North African community of interest. That was map C1510 that we were asked to keep together by keeping Dearborn and Dearborn Heights together along with Melvindale. And then there's a portion of Detroit along Warrendale Avenue. Warrendale is the neighborhood community, Warren is the avenue. So those precincts along there that have a high percentage of the Arab American population are included in District 2 as well to create that MENA district that we had been asked to create. Lastly, if we look at District 6, There's a Native American community of interest submitted by Meredith Kennedy. That is P 5527 that we were asked to keep together. That is intact in this community. In general, I tried to, for District 4, to keep that mostly a downriver community and kind of the suburbs that are more similar and more rural. So Romulus, Van Buren, Belleville, Sumter, and Huron are all together along with the downriver communities to the east of there. If you look at District 6, it keeps together Livonia as a whole district, does not combine it with Western Detroit, along with, it does combine it with Wayne Westland, Garden City, and Inkster. And then there's a rising horizontal district or a rising district for Canton, Plymouth, Northville, and Novi, keeping those together along with Wixom. And then we can kind of zoom over a little bit to kind of, District 10. So District 11 was redesigned because that was one of our struck down districts. So I brought it more into Sterling Heights. That configuration was based on comments that we'd received about the Chaldean community of interest and combining that with Fraser and Roseville. So that's what I tried to accommodate here. And then also try to make a more cohesive district than what we had before, where it was kind of stretched out. And then District 9 keeps together both the Chaldean community of interest as well as the Sikh community of interest at Troy and Rochester Hills together as well. And I think that's pretty much it. If we can pull up the partisan fairness, that would be helpful.
Okay. Okay, there it is. So the lopsided margins is 4.0 for Republicans. The mean median difference is 1.0 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 0.8 for Democrats. The seats vote ratio is 22 Democrat to 16 Republican with a 5.0 bias towards Democrats.
All right, and then the last thing I would add is just the Michigan Advance recently rated this map as being one of 3 that are fairer than the Linden in terms of partisan fairness. I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say I disagree, but they have a slightly different methodology they're using to look at maps than what we have used in terms of our analysis, and they have access to some different measures than we do. So I'm not 100% sure that I fully agree with their analysis, but they did rate it as being fairer than the Linden, which I think is important because we were challenged on the Linden for partisan fairness. So just another factor there. And that's it, unless there's questions.
Commissioner Orton.
I don't understand that last comment. We were challenged on the Linden for partisan fairness. Can you explain what you mean?
We had a lawsuit by the League of Linden League of Women Voters over the partisan fairness on this map and the Hickory.
So just a challenge, somebody didn't like it, not a successful lawsuit.
Right, no, but there was a lawsuit filed.
Commissioner Callahan.
Commissioner Zatello, you said that this map was one of 3 rated by this Michigan Advance Group. What were the other 2?
The Huron and the Kellam.
Okay, thank you.
And I will just add on that. I mean, I don't want to say it's an issue, but it's just a difference is that their composite index is based on equal weighting of elections going back to 2014. Our composite index is actually weighted so that more recent elections have a higher ranking on how things are done. So I kind of don't feel like it's really an apples to apples comparison necessarily. And They also have access to another analysis tool called the majoritarian outcomes, which we've never had access to. So I don't know that any of us could evaluate any of our maps on that. So yeah, I mean, it's a data point. It's interesting, I think, but it's kind of hard to compare maps when we're using a different database to calculate our numbers.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We certainly welcome everybody who wants to make their own independent analysis to make them. But I would suggest we stick to our own data that this commission has created using the metrics that our partisan fairness experts have come up with, just, to keep things consistent. That analysis does differ a little bit from what we've come up with as a commission, where we have that weighted. We have the weighted measures, and we also have more election years, I believe, than what I think it was PTV was able to use. But I think, Commissioner Zell, you stated the partisan fairness numbers for this specific map. 4.0 for the lopsided margins test, 1.0 for mean median difference, 0.8 for efficiency gap. Commissioner Zatella?
Yes, I stated the analysis based on our data.
Mhm.
And I also just received a note from Commissioner Wagner. She's asking that I present her map as well. She's unavailable.
Sure.
Okay, I'll bring that up. Okay, this is Commissioner Wagner's map. It's 401 on the portal.
Okay, so unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to present her map, so I don't have as nice notes as I did from Rhonda, but I'm gonna do the best I can. So again, Commissioner Wagner was trying to create 3 Detroit-centric districts. I'm gonna look at her VRA numbers really quickly here. Because I believe I don't want to speak wrong, so let me just open up this map real quick. So yeah, she does have 4 VRA districts according to our expert, Mr. Braden. That includes 1, 3, 7, and 8. Similar to my map, she kept that configuration of Southfield with Pontiac, which was requested. District 9 is largely the same. For District 11, if you recall, our prior map had Roseville, East Point, and just a little bit of Detroit pulled up into 11, and this instead puts the Macomb Township, the eastern portion of Sterling Heights, Clinton, and Fraser together in a single district. It leaves District 12 intact from the Linden, and then District 10 places together the whole of Warren. It keeps Warren whole, Roseville, Madison Heights, and Royal Oak as well. And I believe, yes, okay. And then District 3 includes East Point with Detroit. I believe that's actually one of our few maps that have that configuration. Not 100% positive on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. And then District 7 includes portions of Detroit with Ferndale, again, to preserve that LGBTQ community, along with Oak Park, Huntington Woods, Berkeley, and Hazel Park. District 2 preserves the MENA community and also includes a portion of Detroit, along with Melvindale. District 5 keeps Romulus whole, but places it with Wayne, Westland, Inkster, and Canton, along with portion of Taylor. Van Buren, Belleville, and Sumter and Huron are together in this map, and they had asked to be together along with the remainder of downriver. And then if we could scroll up a little bit, you've got Plymouth, Novi, and Northville together, along with the kind of Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield area as well. And then, like I said, it has the 4 partisan fairness districts. It's good on equal population. She tried to respect communities of interest as much as possible. And then I believe the partisan fairness is in line with the rest of our maps. So if we can open up the partisan fairness, I would appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, so the top line numbers on the lopsided margins is 5.2 for Republican. The mean median is 3.4 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 1.9 for Republican. The seats vote ratio is 21 Democrat, 17 Republican, with the 2.4 bias towards Democrats.
All right, so yeah, it's in line with the remainder of our maps as well. So hopefully I did honor to Erin's intentions with this maps. Like I said, I just had to kind of wing that. So hopefully I summarized everything that she wanted summarized.
I helped her work on this map, so I'd say you covered most of what she intended, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Zatella. We've done 3 of the individual maps so far, so why don't we go ahead and do the other 3 and then move on to the collaborative. Let's see. That means we have Commissioner Orton's map, Commissioner Kellum's map, and Commissioner Curry's map. Commissioner Orton, would you like to go next?
I can, but I thought I saw Commissioner Curry's hand up earlier, so I'm okay going after her if she would like.
Sure. Commissioner Curry, would you like to present your map?
Yes, I might as well. Thank you, Commissioner Orton. Kind of thought that Chair would saw my hand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see it, but please go ahead.
That's quite all right. I'm a little more short-winded. Rebecca's so accurate at all this. And when it got to my map, I had Mr. Morgan worked with me, and I had a few hours to try to get my computer working correctly, and I made it. And so I had to say a little prayer first to get myself together and get this map together. And I concentrated, my concentration was mostly on the order, the criteria order. I wanted to make sure that the equal population and VRA and everything was together. I wanted to keep their districts contiguous. And so to the best of my knowledge, being a resident of Detroit for many years, I did it according to what I thought would be the more corrective way. And so I thank John for working with me in such a short notice. And I think it came out pretty good. I did not take race or the politics in consideration at all. I know I made a statement a long time ago saying, how can we do this without bringing up race? But obviously there was a way. And so I just kind of worked. He helped me work. In fact, he's the one taught me when we first started. So I felt very comfortable working with him. And I appreciated the help that he gave me as far as helping me work on it. And so my concentration from what the courts had throughout told us to work on 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, and 11. So that's where I spent my time trying to make those contiguous and in the criteria priority order. And so, John, if you can just read the VRA or tell us how we came out on it.
Sure. So there are 3 districts that satisfy both tests of the VRA, the District 1, 3, and 6. but District 8 is very close. And let me show you the data on that. I'll bring up one map on the VRA first, and then I'll show the statistics that go with that.
Okay.
Okay, just a second. I know what my problem is. I need to go there. Okay. Okay, so these maps show the VRA data in a map form. And so what this shows is District 1, 3, and 6 have both Democrat primaries in 2018 and 2022, where the Black Democrats outnumber the white Democrats. And the numbers have to do with the primary composition. So what I will point out is you see the 3 here, 1, 3, and 6, and then District 8, I'll go to the data. So 6, 1, and 3 are shaded green on the map because the Black primary turnout here in this yellow column outnumbers the white Democrat primary turnout in both elections of 2018 and 2022. And then this other District 8 as drawn, and I'll reference it on the map here. So this District 8, which is Southfield, Oak Park, Huntington Woods, part of Farmington, and part of Livonia, that shows up as 50% Black turnout versus 46% white turnout in 2018, and 47.7 Black turnout and 47.7 white turnout in 2022. So it doesn't have the check mark, but it's really right there in terms of that analysis. Okay, Commissioner Curry?
Sounds great to me. Okay, and can we did read the VRA. Did we read that, the partisan fairness?
The partisan fairness, sure. Okay, so again, the 3 VRA districts, potential 4th right here in District 8, and the partisan fairness. It will load here in just a moment.
Okay.
So the top line numbers for partisan fairness on the lopsided margins test, it's 5.1 for Republican. The mean median is 3.3 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 1.9 for Republican. And the seats vote ratio is 21 Democrat, 17 Republican, 2.4 bias towards Democrats.
Okay, thank you, John. Sounds
Okay.
great. Mhm. Okay, and I'm through with mine, Brother Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Curry.
Mhm.
Any questions for Commissioner Curry? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have Commissioner Kellums and Commissioner Orton. Would you like to go next, Commissioner Orton?
Sure.
Wonderful.
Okay, I'll bring that up.
So while he's bringing this up, I can say I started with the crane map. which was based on Commissioner Curry's map. And so there were just a couple changes I wanted to try making on the Crane map and didn't have time to do it in public. So I just made those changes. So it'll be similar to that. So didn't look at race, didn't look at partisan numbers, didn't look at anything like that. Or incumbents or anything. Everything is geographically contiguous. And so I can explain it a little bit. In District 1, I kept River Rouge, Ecorse, Lincoln Park, and Corktown and Mexican Town, the Hispanic COI together. And then it goes up into neighborhoods of, can you zoom in? I think Midwest is in there. And up to Bethune, I think. I'm not familiar with the names so much, but so then in District 2, it has the Middle Eastern North African community of interest, including Dearborn Heights, Melvindale, Allen Park, all of Warren Avenue, and most of Warrendale. And District 3 is Detroit District, Highland Park and Hamtramck, including Banglatown. East Detroit, and I kept the neighborhoods of Cornerstone Village, East English Village, and Morningside together, and it includes the Gold Coast. So District 4, it keeps the community of interest of the Bellevue, Van Buren, and Sumter Townships, along with Huron. And it keeps Romulus whole with the area south of it, which was requested by a public comment. And it keeps many downriver communities together. And District 5 is Canton with Plymouth and Westland. And it also includes Garden City and Inkster. And District 6 is so West Detroit with Redford. It includes Brightmoor, Bagley, and other neighborhoods. And District 7, this one was kept mostly like it was originally since it didn't have to be changed. Southfield with Pontiac. We had lots of public comment for that. District 8 keeps Livonia whole.
Sorry, District 8 or 13?
Oh, yeah, it's switched on this one. Right, okay. District 13 keeps Livonia whole with Farmington Hills whole, and Northville with some of Novi. And District 9 is mostly like it was, and that keeps the Chaldean community of interest with Troy, Sterling Heights, the west part, Rochester Hills. And we received many comments about preserving that area. District 10. So District 10 and 11 originally were the long skinny districts. And so I switched them. So 10 is the bottom half of that and 11 is the top part of that. So in 10, there's East Point and Roseville with Fraser and the east part of Sterling Heights and Warren. And District 11 is, the top part of what used to be that. So that includes, so Macomb and Shelby, most of Shelby Township and part of Clinton Township. I'd say, is that most of it or?
Yes, it's,
I
yeah,
can't.
I think so.
Okay. And District 12 preserves the Lake St. Clair Lakeshore Community of Interest. And District 13, oh, we did 13. So, yeah, I think that's, oh, District 8. I guess I didn't describe District 8. So that keeps, yeah, Royal Oak, Berkeley, Huntington Woods, Pleasant Ridge, Oak Park, Royal Oak, and then Ferndale and Hazel Park with the Madison Heights and the west part of Warren along with Centerline. So that's the areas I was trying to keep together. And then it follows the rest of the ranked order criteria, doesn't favor or disfavor. I did try to keep or take into consideration county, city, and township boundaries, but only if it could be done with the population we need and considering communities of interest, because that comes first. So I think that's all. Oh, do you want to show the partisan fairness?
Okay.
And it has 4 VRA districts.
The VRA districts are 1, 3, 6, and 7.
Thank you.
Okay, so the partisan fairness, the top line numbers, lopsided margin is 5.1 for Republican. The mean median difference is 3.4 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 1.9 for Republican. And the seats vote ratio is 21 Democrat to 17 Republican with 2.4 bias towards Democrats.
Thank you. And I think that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Do you want to just talk about the differences between this and the crane? I know they're similar, but there are a few differences in certain places.
Yeah, we would have to do an overlay because I've looked at both of them so much, I get confused about which is which.
You want me
I know.
to put the overlay of crane on this?
Do you want to see that, Anthony?
I think it'd be helpful just to,
Okay.
they're both very similar, so just
Yeah.
helping differentiate them.
I know one difference is up by Commissioner Villette's area. Highland is with White Lake, perhaps, instead of with Milford. But I can't remember for sure.
One moment here.
So I know there's no change in the Detroit area, the Detroit districts.
Okay, so
small
the
change.
dark blue line is the crane map. So you can see that these are the same districts in the Detroit area, which were based on Commissioner Curry's Detroit districts. In fact, they're exactly, I believe, Commissioner Curry's Detroit districts 1, 3, and 6. And then 2 is the same as crane and the personal map. There are some differences here in District 5 and 13. and some differences in 23 and 24. District 9 in the Crane map has a little bit more of Shelby and none of Oakland Township, whereas in the personal map, it has more of Oakland, less of Shelby. It's a little different in the Warren area.
Do you, does anyone want to see anything, any area specifically, or?
I think that's good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay, the last individual map was the one submitted by Commissioner Kellum. I'll speak on that one since she is not here with us today.
Okay, that's map 403 on the portal. Oh, sorry, I went too fast on that to reload it. Okay, Commissioner Reed.
Okay. So what we're looking at now is Commissioner Kellum's individual submission. It's the same thing as the Phoenix collaborative map, which was based on hummingbird, flamingo, and a little bit of heron, I believe. But it did not get the votes to be adopted collaborative, so Commissioner Kellum opted to submit it individually. It has 4 VRA districts, those districts being 1, 8, 6, and 3. And it changes 14 districts from when compared to Linden. Now, if we talk about how the districts are configured, it's one of the ones that kind of have this stacked configuration where you have a District 1 that encompasses many of the downriver communities from Allen Park up through Ecorse and River Rouge, and then goes up through the riverfront of Detroit, through Belle Isle, and going a little bit into the east side, including East English Village, Morningside, and the Denby area. And then right on top of that is District 8, which is a Detroit-centered district that comprises the more northern corridor of north and northeast Detroit, including Highland Park and Hamtramck, keeping those 2 communities together, like we heard at the hearing we had in Southfield. Going to District 6, it is a district that has Livonia being whole, but taking it eastward to include Redford, as well as some of the west side of Detroit neighborhoods. And then District 3 is right above that, has Farmington and Farmington Hills being whole and moving eastward into Southfield, Oak Park, and Royal Oak Township. That covers the VRA districts. For the rest of the districts, you have a District 2 that has Dearborn Heights, Melvindale, and a little bit of Warrendale. But instead of including some of the downriver communities like Allen Park and Lincoln Park with District 2, it instead goes westward to include Garden City and Inkster. The district, we already talked about the District 3. The District 4 and 5 here have a little bit of a different configuration than what are in some of the other maps. In 5, we wanted to create that C shape in order to not split up Romulus. So instead, Romulus is whole with Taylor, comprising of the rest of the downriver communities from Wyandotte down through Grove Seal to Maple Beach. Whereas District 5 takes this C shape, including Westland, Canton, Van Buren Township, Sumter, and Huron Charter Township. If we go to District 7, this is a little bit of a different configuration from what was in Linden. Instead of having a Pontiac to Southfield district, it now includes Waterford. So it's Waterford and Pontiac down through Birmingham into Beverly Hills. The District 9 is similar to the original Linden configuration. I believe it just doesn't go up quite as north, but the whole of the district being Rochester, Rochester Hills, Troy, and Sterling Heights being split at Van Dyke, including that Chaldean community of interest on the west side of Sterling Heights. District 10 then includes some of the Oakland County neighborhoods like Berkeley, Huntington Woods, and Royal Oak that share a school district. They're together in here, along with Ferndale, Hazel Park, and then going east into most of Warren being whole along with Centerline. There is a little piece of Warren that is not included in 10, that is instead included 11. And then the rest of 11 includes East Point, the remainder of Sterling Heights that isn't in 9, as well as Clinton Township. District 12 is a similar district to what was in the original Linden District 12, comprised of that Lakeshore community of interest. I think the only difference is that it includes these 2 neighborhoods of Jefferson Chalmers in with the Grosse Points. And if we go a little further north to account for those changes in District 9 and District 7, Districts 23 and 24 changed slightly. 20, but we still tried to, have them be township based here. I don't think there are many townships split between 23 and 24, and it's a little bit of a more even split, similar to what is in Crane. So talked about the VRA districts, talked about the communities. For the partisan fairness values, this is a lopsided margins test of positive 3.8 towards the Republicans, a mean median difference of 1.5% towards the Republicans, an efficiency gap of 0.8 towards the Republicans. Can we double check that efficiency gap?
Okay, so lopsided margin 3.8 Republican, mean median 1.5 Republican. The efficiency gap is 0.8 towards the Democrats.
Got you. Okay. And the mean median difference, I'm sorry, the seats to votes ratio of 5.0 towards the Democrats. I think that about covers it for this one. Okay, that finishes the 6 individual maps. Let's move to the maps that the commission worked on collaboratively. We'll just take those in alphabetical order. The first being Cardinal. Commissioner Weiss, I believe you wanted to speak about this one a bit.
Yes, I will do it, and along with your wonderful help in its explanation. John, could you bring up the Cardinal, please?
Okay, just be a moment. Let me take off the reference. Maybe just a second. There we go.
Excuse me.
Okay.
All right, thank you. This is the first collaborative map we called Cardinal. I find it kind of an interesting map because we took the Linden Senate map and deleted districts 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, and 11. Yeah, that's right. And then what we did is filled those districts in, Senate districts, using from the Motown Sound, the rep districts, and subbed those in place of that, which created the new Senate districts, more or less incorporating all of the House representative districts. Mr. Eid, would you like to explain that a little better for them?
Yeah, I think you had it right. For the suburbs here were the same as what we had been doing collaboratively, but we wanted a different configuration for Detroit. So for the Detroit area districts, we tried to encompass we put on an overlay of the Motown Sound map that was that the commission adopted and then was approved by the courts, and tried to approximate about 3 of them into a Senate district. Now, we couldn't get it perfectly lined up, but I think we did a pretty good job in approximating what those districts were in this map. For example, the District 1 in this Senate map is an approximation of the House districts 1, 9, and 7 in the House map. The Senate District 2 that we're seeing here is an approximation of the House districts 2, 3, and 15. And the Senate District 3 is an approximation of the House districts 4, 5, and 8. And we took it from there. It has 4 VRA districts, 1, 3, 7, and 8. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay,
Yeah.
I think I lost connection for a brief moment. We're good though. Yeah, so it has 4 VRA districts, 1, 3, 7, and 8. And, since it encompasses the districts from the house map, I think it has about the same COIs as the house map. If you go up to the suburbs, you have a district. We'll just start westward. We'll have a district, you have a district 13 that has the West Bloomfield and Greater Lakes area with Farmington and Farmington Hills being whole, combined with a little bit of Commerce, Walled Lake, and Novi. You can see Northville is whole here, crossing the county boundary because that's what that city does, being in with District 6, which is comprised of Northville, Livonia, and going eastward into Redford and Detroit. The District 7 incorporates some of those Oakland County neighborhoods we just talked about in the last map, like Berkeley, Huntington Woods, and Royal Oak being together. This time, instead of going eastward, it's westward along with Southfield, and then dipping a little bit into Detroit. The District 10 here is a little bit different. This is one of the maps that elects not to split up Sterling Heights and instead has it being whole with Troy, and then right south of 75 into Madison Heights. 9, I think, was one of the first districts that was collaboratively drawn when we deleted the old District 7. And instead of having it be from Pontiac to Southfield, it instead goes from Pontiac to Rochester Hills and then goes south into Bloomfield Hills and Birmingham. And then District 12 is unchanged from the Linden District 12, incorporating that Lakeshore community of interest from, the areas of the Detroit River up through Lake St. Clair and Anchor Bay. And then District 11 is the area that's left in between Districts 10, 12, and 8, including some of the Macomb County townships of Warren, Fraser, Clinton Township. And this one does not include East Point, and it does not cross into 8 Mile. As far as the partisan fairness numbers for this map goes, it has a seats to votes ratio of 5.0 towards.
Well, hang on, let me pull up the correct one. There. Okay, so yeah, 373. So the lopsided margin is 3.6 for Republican. The mean median difference is 2.6 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 0.8 towards Democrats. And the seats vote ratio is 22-16 with 5.0 towards Democrats. Wonderful.
So certainly in line with all the other maps. I actually think this is in line with the 3 that the Michigan Advance article had identified as well. The efficiency gap is the same. The mean median difference is a little higher than that group, but the lopsided margin score seems to be a little lower, but they're all in the same range, in my opinion. And this map changes 12 districts when compared to Linden. Okay, I think that does it for this one. Let's bring up Crane. And Commissioner Orton, would you like to speak about this one?
Well, I can.
Go
I
ahead.
thought Commissioner Villette was going to.
Oh,
but-
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have the whole list up from last week. Commissioner Villette, yes, let's hear from you, please.
Okay. I would like to go over this in the rank criteria that we were required to when we drew the maps. And the first is equal population and the Voting Rights Act. Districts are within the population deviation, and race was not looked at when we drew this map. The VRA analysis was performed after the map was drawn, and there are 4 VRA districts. It's geographically contiguous. We did a discontinually check, and there were none. And then we went through the COI, sorry. And in District 1, the downriver communities of River Rouge, Ecorse, Lincoln Park were together, along with the Hispanic COIs, including Corktown and Michigantown. Neighborhoods of Midwest up to Bethune and over to Dexter Linden were kept together. District 2, the COIs including Dearborn Heights, Melvindale, Allen Park, and all of Warren Avenue, and most of Warrendale were kept together. District 3, Highland Park and Hamtramck, including Banglatown, East Detroit, Cornerstone Village, East English Village, and Morningside, includes the Gold Coast. And then on to District 4, it keeps the COIs of Bellevue, Van Buren, and Sumter Township, along with Huron. It keeps Romulus Hull and the area south of it, which was requested by public comment. And it keeps many of the downriver communities together. District 5, Canton with Plymouth and Westland, also includes Garden City and Inkster. District 6, West Detroit with Redford. It includes Brightmoor, Bagley, and Far West Detroit. District 7 keeps Southfield with Pontiac, and that was a public comment for that COI. District 8 keeps Livonia Hall, keeps Farmington with Farmington Hills together, Northville, and some of Novi. District 9 keeps Chaldean COI together with Troy, west side of Sterling Heights, Rochester, and Rochester Hills together. District 10 keeps Oak Park, Huntington Woods, Pleasant Ridge, Ferndale, and Hazel Park together. District 11 keeps East Point with Roseville, Fraser, and the rest of Sterling Heights. District 12 preserves the Lake St. Clair Lakeshore community of interest. District 13, Milford with Commerce and White Lake, and District 13 keeps Highland and White Lake townships together. District 24 keeps most of Clinton Township and Shelby Township with Macomb Township, and that was originally in the north part of the district. There were no disproportionate advantage to any political party. We did not discuss this. The partisan fairness numbers were ran, and they were within the requirements. We didn't take any encumbrance or candidates into account while drawing this map, so no favor or disfavor to an incumbent elected official or candidate. We reflect the consideration of city, county, and township boundaries. Where possible, we considered county, city, and township boundaries if they didn't if they didn't conflict with population or community of interest consideration. And we did run a compactness score, and they are all reasonably compact. And that's it. If anybody has any questions.
I think you're good, Commissioner Vallette. Did you say the numbers of those VRA districts?
No, I did not. There are 4 of them.
Yes, it is 1, 3, 6, and 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for presenting this map. Okay, next up is Dove. Okay. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the Dove collaborative map. This map, once again, has 4 VRA districts. In this map, it's districts 1, 3, 7, and 10. The whole map changes 12 districts when compared to Linden. Let's talk a little bit about the VRA districts. So we have this District 1 that has a configuration that goes from the downriver communities of Ecorse and River Rouge. Oh, I lost my place. Yeah, Ecorse and River Rouge up through Detroit. And it goes kind of northeast in this configuration, taking up Hamtramck and the areas around Hamtramck, but not Highland Park, which is in District 3. And it goes eastward into the Morningside, East English Village area. District 3 then has Highland Park and some of the remaining portions of the northwest side of Detroit, mostly the areas of Detroit above Dearborn. The District 7 is similar to the original Linden configuration. It's comprised essentially of Pontiac down to Southfield, including Bloomfield Hills and Southfield. Including Auburn Hills and Bloomfield Hills, but not Birmingham. In this one, while Birmingham was in this district in the original Linden District 7, in this map, it is instead included in District 8, which is comprised of some of those Oakland County neighborhoods like Birmingham, Berkeley, Huntington Woods, and Royal Oak. In this configuration, those areas also include Ferndale and a little bit of Detroit, aligning with the communities of interest, much like how it does in the other maps, but in a little bit of a different way here. District 10 is then the remaining VRA district. It is a Macomb County centered district, having all of Warren be whole, along with Centerline and East Point. And it goes south of 8 Mile into a little bit of the northeastern Detroit neighborhoods. And it also includes Harper Woods. For districts 4 and 5, let's go to District 2. So District 2 has the configuration that the Middle Eastern community supports. It is Dearborn Heights, and Melvindale, along with Allen Park and Lincoln Park. This version does not have much of Warrendale in it, instead having Lincoln Park on the southeast side of it. And then if we look at 4 and 5, we have a little bit of a different configuration here. Taylor is whole in 4, but Romulus is split. And the 4 in this configuration includes Sumter Township with District 4 going eastward and southward to incorporate the rest of the downriver communities up until Monroe. 5 then starts at Plymouth and then goes south. So Plymouth, Canton, and Van Buren Township. It then takes the remainder of Romulus that isn't in 4, puts it in 5, and has Inkster and Wayne Township as well. District 6, directly above District 5, then includes all of Livonia being whole, along with the parts of Westland that were not with District 5, and also includes Garden City and goes eastwards into Redford Township. It also takes a little bit of Farmington and Farmington Hills into District 6 as well. Talked about 7 and 8. District 13 is a similar configuration to the original District 13. I think it doesn't go quite far south and instead includes a little bit more of Walled Lake, but it is essentially the same district in spirit as the original 13. The District 9 is also a similar configuration to the original Linden map, having that Rochester, Troy, and half of Sterling Heights area. And then 11 and 12 are a little bit different here. It doesn't have the whole lakeshore, but instead the District 11 has the remainder of Sterling Heights that isn't in 9, and it goes southward into Macomb County to incorporate Fraser and St. Clair Shores, and then south into the Grosse Pointes. And then District 12 takes the remainder of that area that's directly north, without messing with, the areas even further north of that, taking up Mount Clemens, Clinton Township, and the rest of the areas surrounding Anchor Bay. Can we pull the partisan fairness numbers?
Okay. Okay, so the top line numbers are lopsided margin is 6.2 for Republican. The mean median difference is 2.5 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 4.6 for Republican. The seats vote ratio is 20 Democrat, 18 Republican, with a 0.2 bias towards Republican.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will move on to Finch v2. Commissioner Orton.
Yeah, I just have a question about this. Maybe you said at the beginning and I missed it, but like, where did that map originate? Do you know how it came about?
I mean, it was collaborative. I think, let me see. There were a few configurations that Commissioner Zatella made where she tried to keep 7 and 9 together, and have that, I'm sorry, I don't mean 7 and 9 together. I mean, approximate the old 7 and 9 configuration along with doing that change in districts 11 and 12. So I think that was the origination, but we certainly all worked on it.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Reed, you said Finch next.
Yes, and I do see we have somebody that might be having trouble connecting with the Spanish interpreter. If we can make sure they get connected, that would be great. Okay, so we're looking at Finch now. Commissioner Andrade, I believe you wanted to speak on this one. Oh, I thought I had seen her earlier. I must have been mistaken. Commissioner Callahan, would you like to speak on this one a little bit?
Which one is this?
This is Finch.
Let me see. Okay, Finch, I can start. I don't have a lot of notes. I don't have any notes prepared for Finch. I
All right,
believe there's,
I'll help you out. We'll do it together.
okay. I believe there are 4 VRA districts, 1, 3, 8, and 7. We have 3 Detroit Center districts. District 1 there goes downriver, includes Wyandotte and E-Course, and then does that wrap around the MENA community that we've seen in several maps. D3 is the other VRA district. This one goes from the riverfront all the way up to 8 Mile and actually includes some of the inner ring northern suburbs of Ferndale and Hazel Park, and goes off. This includes quite a bit. I mean, we've got downriver, it wraps all the way up to 8 Mile, goes across 8 Mile into Ferndale and Hazel Park, and then extends west quite a ways around the District 1. And then the other VRA district is District 8. District 8 is more of the east side of Detroit, and then extending up into some of the inner ring suburbs as well. It goes all the way from the riverfront, includes the east side communities of Cornerstone, Morningside, East Indian Village, up through 8 Mile, includes East Point, part of Warren, it looks like, Centerline. That's also a VRA district. And the last VRA district is District 7. This is including, again, the southern suburbs of Oakland County there, Southfield, Lathrop Village, Royal Oak Township, Oak Park, and extends down into the northwest suburbs of Detroit. What else can we say about this map? Those are the VRA districts. District 4 is keeps the communities of Van Buren, Belleville, and Sumter together. It does split Romulus. It includes Taylor and some of your downriver communities like Southgate, Woodhaven, all the way down to Flat Rock. District 5 keeps your Plymouth, Canton townships together. They share a school district, so they're pretty tightly tied. It also extends east into Westland and Inkster. Above that, you have sitting on top of it, District 6, I believe that is, which includes Northfield Township. All of Livonia is made whole. It includes Redford and a little bit of the Northwest Detroit neighborhoods. Above that, in District 13, I believe Farmington Hills is whole. You slide up just a little bit more, it looks like it's got all of Greater West Bloomfield included, as well as part of Commerce and Walled Lake and Novi. What else can we say here, Anthony?
Yeah, so the suburbs in this one are similar to the suburbs in a few of our other ones. I think you hit maybe one district that's a little different, District 7 already. But District 9 has that configuration with Pontiac, Rochester Hills, up through Birmingham. District 10 has the Sterling Heights, Troy, Madison Heights configuration. District 12 is the same as the original Linden 12, incorporating that Lakeshore COI. And District 11 is essentially the areas between them, including Warren, Fraser, and Clinton Township, but stopping at East Point and not dipping down across 8 Mile. But I think you covered, I think you got, I know I put you on the spot there, sorry, but you didn't.
Could we take a look at the partisan fairness numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the top line margins are Republican 3.7 on the lopsided margin. The mean median difference is 2.7 Republican. The efficiency gap is 0.8 for Democrats. The seats vote ratio is 22 Democrat to 16 Republican with a 5.0 bias towards Democrats.
So those partisan fairness numbers are pretty much in the middle of the pack along with the other numbers that we have.
Yeah, I think they're in line with just about everything else. I think this one is similar again to the ones that the Michigan Advance article identified because the efficiency gap is the same as those three being 0.8, but different data metrics differ. It's important we look at all of this holistically. And then this changes 13 districts when compared to the original Linden. I think that covers it for this map. We'll now move on to Heron. I think we're up again, Commissioner Callahan.
Okay, so in this map, we really started out, it was a collaborative map, and we tried to start out with a different configuration for the Detroit districts. This is a real sharp contrast to the map we just looked at, where you had districts 1, 8, and I'm not sure, I can't remember what the other one is, that kind of came out from the river in spokes and went out into the suburbs. In this one, we've really tried to stack the Detroit districts a little bit and use that as our starting point. So this map does have the 4 VRA districts. Those districts are 1, 8, 6, and 3. Let's start with the District 1. Instead of wrapping around Dearborn like so many of the other maps do, this one stays on the riverfront. It does take in some of the downriver communities, River Rouge, Ecorse, Melvindale, and then it extends up around the riverfront and goes pretty far east. It includes the east side neighborhoods that always want to be kept together, and then goes, just for population purposes, a little bit further north than our normal, than our District 1 usually does in most of the other maps. District 8 sits on top of District 1, and so it is comprised of the northern and middle layer of neighborhoods in the city of Detroit. It includes Hamtramck, Highland Park, the Bangladesh neighborhood. District 6, let's see. I'm trying to get through the VRA districts. That's why I'm skipping around a little bit. Where's District 6? Okay, so District 6 is on the western edge. It makes Livonia whole. It includes Redford, and then also extends into the western neighborhoods of Detroit as well. And then the last VRA district is District 3. Did we talk about 3? Okay, 3 has all of Southfield and some of the neighborhoods to the east, Berkeley, Huntington Woods, Oak Park, Royal Oak Township. And it also includes Farmington and the southern half of Farmington Hills. So Farmington Hills is split in this map. Other than that, let's see. So that's 1, 6, 3, and 8. Let's talk about District 2. District 2 is your MENA community. We got Dearborn Heights, Garden City, and Inkster is included. Again, I want to point out Melvindale is not included there with this district. District 4, your downriver communities, it keeps Olive Taylor. It does not include Romulus. It goes up a little bit higher than some of our other District 4s into those communities of butting right up against Dearborn Heights, the southern half of Lincoln Park. It does not include Romulus or east into the Huron Valley, Huron Township. That's a little different from most of the other maps. Let's see. District 5 has Canton at the northern end and then goes south from there and includes the Van Buren, Belleville, Sumter area, includes all of Romulus and Westland. D7 to the north. D7 includes Pontiac, and instead of going south in this map, it actually is more of an east-west. It includes Rochester in the northwest corner of Sterling Heights. D9, just under District 7, has the Oakland suburbs of Birmingham, Bloomfield, Bloomfield Hills, Royal Oak, Madison Heights, and Ferndale. D10 and 11 are north-south districts in Macomb County. 10 dips down a little bit into Detroit there. I believe we did that for population purposes. And then 11 is very similar to Linden, right? I believe 11 is very similar to the original Linden map. And District 12 is the Lakeshore Community of Interest, and I don't believe it was changed here either.
It was changed here in Detroit.
Oh, is that Jefferson Chalmers there?
Yes.
Okay.
And it took
So
Mount
it includes
Clemens.
the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood.
Yeah, and 11 took in Mount Clemens and doesn't go as far south as the original District 11.
Okay. Did we look at the VRA numbers? I mean, the partisan fairness numbers?
Not yet.
This map has really strong partisan fairness statistics. We have a lopsided margin of 3.8 to Republicans, a mean median of 0.3 to Democrats, an efficiency gap of 0.8 to Democrats, the seats vote ratio of 22-16 with a 5% to Democrats.
And this map changed 12 districts when compared to Linden. So that's Heron, you know, similar in some ways, different than other ways. And that brings us to the final map, Starling v3. Commissioner Muldoon, I think you're going to start us off on this one.
Chair, just to acknowledge, I don't believe Commissioner Muldoon is present.
Gotcha. Commissioner Lang.
I just want to say I'm present and attending remotely from Reed City, Michigan.
Thank you, Commissioner Lang. Okay, would anyone who has not spoken about a map yet like to do this one? Commissioner Lett, maybe? I think we've heard from just about everyone today. If not, I will go ahead and present this one. It's usually him and me, so. All right, we're looking at Starling v3. Started off as v1, then went to v2. There were some improvements made, especially around the Macomb County area, to make it into version 3. So let's start with the VRA districts. This map has, once again, 4 VRA districts. In this map, it is 1, 3, 7, and 10. The District 1 configuration is similar to some other maps where it takes some of the downriver communities like Lincoln Park, Ecorse, and River Rouge, goes up a little bit around Dearborn to incorporate that that Latina COI, and up through the riverfront into some of the east side neighborhoods. District 3 is on top of that. It incorporates both Hamtramck and Highland Park, and then goes westward to incorporate some of the northwest areas of Detroit. District 7 then is north of District 3. It is more of a Oakland County district, including Southfield, Berkeley, Oak Park, and Huntington Woods, along with Ferndale, Hazel Park, and some of the areas crossing 8 Mile, but in a way that makes sense for the COIs in that area. District 10, on the other hand, is the final VRA district. It includes all of Warren, Centerline, and East Point. It then goes south, crossing 8 Mile, into some of the northeast portions of Detroit, and also has a little portion of Roseville in it as well. Those are the VRA districts. The District 2 in this map, again, is the Dearborn-centered district. It's comprised of Dearborn, Dearborn Heights, Melvindale, and Allen Park. And in this one, instead of including Lincoln Park, it includes more of Warrendale. And I believe a little bit of the city of Detroit as well. That's directly north of Warrendale. The 4 and 5 are also just a little different here. In this one, Romulus is whole, but Taylor is split. So you got Taylor being split, but it's split right down the highway. The east side of it is included in District 4, along with the rest of the downriver communities, including Southgate and Wyandotte, which I think we heard might be a good delineation point between the more northern downriver communities and southern downriver communities. But it goes south, and then a little bit different here, it goes westward to include that Van Buren Sumter COI with District 4. District 5 then is, again, all of Romulus, but includes the west side of Taylor, as well as Inkster, some of Westland, and Canton. Canton is whole and goes north into Plymouth. District 6 is similar to a few of the other configurations. It's kind of centered around Livonia, but then also includes Redford, Garden City, and the parts of Westland that are not in District 5. And then Northville as well. If we go to District 8, so District 8 here is in between those two VRA districts of 7 and 10. It includes Royal Oak and Madison Heights. Yes, so Berkeley and Huntington Woods are with 7 on here, and Royal Oak is with 8. It also includes Troy and the west part of Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights is split, but it's split around Van Buren, and the west side is incorporated with Troy. Instead of encompassing Rochester Hills like you see in some of the other maps, this one instead goes south to incorporate Royal Hope and Madison Heights in District 8. District 9 has a similar configuration to some other maps as well, incorporating Pontiac, Rochester Hills, and Bloomfield Hills down into Birmingham. And then we have districts 11 and 12. So 12 is a little different from the original Linden, but I think still has that whole Lakeshore COI in it. And then District 11 is essentially the areas in between that, that river and that COI, and the rest of the districts, incorporating the east side of Sterling Heights, as well as Clinton Township, Fraser, and I believe Commissioner Muldoon edited it to also include a little bit of Chesterfield for population reasons. And then finally, the District 13 is, again, similar to what's in some of the other maps, having West Bloomfield and Orchard Lake be together with Novi. Farmington Hills and Farmington are whole in District 13 here. I think the only real difference is it goes a little bit into Southfield on the bottom right portion. As far as some of the metrics goes, this one changes 14 districts when compared to Linden. For the partisan fairness values,
The top line numbers are lopsided margin 5.0 for Republican. Mean median is 1.3 for Republican. The efficiency gap is 1.9 for Republican. Seats vote ratio is 21 Democrat, 17 Republican, with 2.4 bias towards Democrats.
wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. All right, that's all 12 maps. I want to thank all the commissioners who participated in presenting those maps, both the collaborative and the individual. I think it's really good for the public that we're doing this, so they have a good understanding of the differences in some of these maps and can let us know their thoughts. We'll now move on to the public comment portion, as well as a Q&A for today's meeting. Is there any objection, commissioners? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Individuals who have signed up or raised their hand in the participation lobby, indicating they would like to provide remote public commentary or questions to the commission will now be allowed. I'll call you by your name, and our staff will unmute you. If you're on a computer, you'll be prompted by the Zoom app to unmute your microphone and speak. If you are joining us via telephone, a voice will say the host wants you to speak and prompt you to press *6 to unmute. I will either call you by your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number. Please note, if you're experiencing technical or audio issues, or we do not hear from you for 3 to 5 seconds, we'll be moving on to the next person in line and then returning to you when they are done speaking. If your audio still does not work, you can email us at redistricting@michigan.gov, and we will help you troubleshoot so you can participate during the next town hall. Today, you'll have 90 seconds to address the commission, and please conclude your remarks when you hear the timer. We have 3 folks who signed up in advance for public comment. I do see we have a few more who are attending via the participants list. We'll start with the 3 that signed up in advance. The first being Jamie Rowe.
Yeah, thank you. I live in the current 11th State Senate District that has been ruled to violate the U.S. Constitution. Of the bird maps that have been submitted to the court, I believe the Cardinal map does the best job protecting our vital communities of interest where I live here in Macomb County. It protects the Lake St. Clair COI by leaving the 12th district unchanged. It combines important COIs in the Clinton River watershed in the new 11th. Unfortunately, it changes the 9th district, which best represents the Chaldean American community of interest, but does a fairly good job of keeping all 3 of the large Chaldean Catholic churches contained in the district in Shelby Township, Sterling Heights, and Troy. It's my hope that the commission adopts the Cardinal map. If not Cardinal, then Dove does the best job protecting the Chaldean COI, but needlessly splits the Lake St. Clair COI. I also want to thank Commissioner Curry for her map and several other of the individual maps that protect our vital communities of interest in Macomb County in a similar manner. The commission must reject the Heron map, which obliterates the Chaldean community of interest into 3 separate districts and leaves the 11th virtually unchanged in a manner designed to protect the current incumbent in violation of the Michigan Constitution. Ask any commissioner who supports that map to tell the Chaldean community why the same standard was not applied to them that has been applied to so many others in this remapping project. You must reject Heron. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Next up is Anthony Scow.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. I'm just excited to be here today and just trying to keep up my public comment streak, really, because I've said all my preferences, but I kind of changed my mind on some of the maps that I like and dislike. And I just try to be organized about it. I got a good, okay, and a bad, just for my preferences. And in the good column, I'd put Curry, Orton, and Crane. And in the okay column, I'd put Lang, Wagner, Zitella, Kellum. And in the bad column, I would put, oh, wow, most of the bird names except Crane, Cardinal, Dove, Finch, Heron, Starling. And I just, based off of my preferences, the things I'm trying to do, look out for my community, my people, my family, where I live. I'm not looking at every other city, county in the area. I don't know nothing about Oakland County, Macomb County. I don't pretend to. And I really don't care about the partisan fairness, even though I guess it's a constitutional criteria, because I think they're both so corrupt, it makes me sick. But good luck with your choices.
Thank you, Mr. Scow. We appreciate your comments. Third to speak is Mr. James Gallant.
This is James Gallant, Marquette. These are my opinions. Please answer to us why you continue to refuse to follow the Robert's Rules of Order as instructed by Mike Brady. No debate before a motion second. That's on page 366, line 8. You are not respecting or preserving our community of interest, the entire state of Michigan, and it's repugnant to our Constitution of 1963 as amended. Today is probably your last best chance to distance MICRC from Secretary of State Benson's bullying that started on September 17, 2020, by her refusing to follow Robert's rules while she presided over these meetings. And now she continues to refuse to act as Secretary of State without a vote of the MRC, as she reiterated in a signed letter in the orientation material. She said she was going to personally be here to be a secretary. And it also says in those materials that Robert's Rules is a framework you may want to adopt. And that is directly contradicting the Director of Legal Services, Mike Brady, saying that you must follow it, which he said at the meeting. And I'd like to say also, objection, hearsay. Who you're presenting absent members' maps and making it up, just like you, Mr. Chair, did. And Secretary of State didn't do a roll call or establish a quorum here today. So you should have a motion to approve a constitutional Senate map right now, postponed. And then you bring it back every time you discuss a debate like you did today. Question and answers. Oh, and about this and about. And it was like Callahan. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this and that. And explaining.
Thank you, Mr. Gallant. We do appreciate your comments. Is there anyone in the waiting room who would like to provide comments to the commission or have any questions about the maps themselves? That's what we're here to do, answer questions about the actual maps. Anyone who has not gone already, feel free to raise your hand in the chat and we will hear from you. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have anybody who would like to have any questions or provide commentary right now. How about we go on break? We'll come back at 12:30, see if we have any more folks join us. Well, folks, we have about 15 minutes left in the noticed meeting. I'd like to note that we are going to be here also tonight from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Is there anyone who has not spoken yet, who would like to provide comment to the commission, comment about our maps? If you have any questions about the maps, now's the time. We're here to answer them. I do see Chuck Altman has his hand up. Hello, Mr. Altman.
Yeah, hello, thank you. I hope this is an appropriate question. I may have missed this explanation earlier. I had a question about the partisan fairness and how the scores within that part of partisan fairness were derived.
Yeah, so you're talking about our partisan fairness scores, correct?
Yes.
So we have a number of different measures that were used. We had our partisan fairness expert talk about this a little bit at our meeting that was on. So let me get that date.
May 16th.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. So we have a fully detailed explanation on what each one of those numbers are and how they were derived on our May 16th meeting that's available on our YouTube page. That's by Dr. Lisa Hanley. Generally, we have a few different partisan fairness metrics. We use the efficiency gap, the lopsided margins test, and mean median difference, as well as the seats to votes ratio. Now, this commission is using a weighted average of the past 10 years of election history that's taken place in Michigan, plus the most recent election, 2022. So that gives us, I believe, 12 years of election history that goes into a composite that makes our numbers. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I invite you to take a look at our YouTube page, watch that meeting so you can get the more detailed explanation from Dr. Hanley herself.
Okay, will do.
And you can also, if you're interested, we can show you how to do you know how to access the partisan fairness metrics that are on each map?
I think so.
Okay, it's on our website, www.michigan.gov/MICRC. Attached to each map is an Excel spreadsheet that shows all four of those measures I just spoke about.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would anyone else like to comment? I don't see anyone. Mr. Woods, do you have anything to add today?
No, but thank you for asking.
So just going forward, we have a few different meetings scheduled. We have tonight's virtual town hall where we're going to redo what we did this morning, go over all of the maps so people can, see why they were created, what's in some of them, and see the difference between the 12 versions that the commission has put forth to the court. And then next week, we have our in-person public hearings. We're going to be meeting on Tuesday, June 11th, Wednesday, June 12th, and Thursday, June 13th. We're trying to hit the major Detroit public school system high schools. So on Tuesday, June 11th, we're going to be at Cass Tech High School, located at 2501 Second Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48201. On Wednesday, June 12th, we're going to be at Martin Luther King High School, located at 3200 East Lafayette Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48207. And on Thursday, June 13th, we're going to be at Renaissance High School, 6565 West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48235. Now at these meetings, the commission is going to be there from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. As long as you're there somewhere in between those times, we will make time to hear from you. We do have some breaks scheduled, but generally we'll be there from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And at those meetings, we'll have big blow-ups of all 12 of these maps, as well as the original Linden map and the map that the legislature created back in the 2010 census cycle, so that you folks can all see it in person and do a hard copy comparison if you'd like. We certainly hope that folks watching this will attend. It's always nice to see folks in person and hear from them. Again, Tuesday, June 11th at Detroit Cass Tech High School, Wednesday, June 12th at Martin Luther King High School, and Thursday, June 13th at Renaissance High School. Are there any announcements or acknowledgements today, commissioners or staff? Well, I don't see any, and we don't have anyone else who would like to speak. Once again, we will reconvene later today at 5 p.m. and we will go from 5 p.m. to about 7:30. On behalf of the commission, I'd like to express my appreciation to all those who made this virtual town hall meeting possible. That includes many partners from EDS to the Michigan Department of State, Regional Interpreting Network, Q&A reporting, the translators, the sign language interpreters, and most of all, you, the public, for engaging with us to make sure that we can get fair maps. We'll see y'all at 5. And enjoy the rest of your day.